Today we're going to see what's inside this geode right here. Let's get started. Definitely sounds different. Our little knock test proved to be accurate. This rock really is hollow inside, and we discovered when our grandson broke it open on Christmas Day that each of these individual little bumps is an individual geode. They're all hollow inside. They're all little pockets. So I'm going to take this thing and get it cleaned up and show you what it looks like. It has a lot of buildup on it that we're going to take off. Oh, I also want to point out that these little shards of crystals are very sharp. So when you are breaking these open, you should wear safety glasses and gloves to protect yourself. Before I get started cleaning this up, I want to talk a little bit about how geodes are formed. They are formed when there is a pocket of air inside of a rock. This often happens when there's a volcanic eruption. When lava cools around the air bubbles, it forms these geodes. These geodes are very porous, and water is able to seep in through the sides of the geode. It is not the water that creates the crystals. It is the minerals that come into the rock with the water that creates the crystals inside the rock. These rocks are high in iron, which gives them that beautiful gold yellow color. The iron rust, obviously, and that makes the color. When we clean these rocks, we're not going to be able to get the yellow out of the rock. It is part of the crystal itself. We will only be removing the buildup on top of the crystals. On this one you can see this water line where it was partially exposed in the water, possibly off and on for hundreds of years. Some people think that the water inside the rocks is thousands of years old. That's not really true. The water seeps in and out through the pores openings in the rock. It takes a long time for the water to seep in and out, but it is exchanged. It's not thousand-year-old water. However, one could argue that all water is thousands of years old. It's just not the same water that's been inside. I'm going to put these little loose pieces inside of a jar. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but they are kind of pretty. Maybe I'll be able to give them away to somebody. When we were on our geode hunt, we discovered that a lot of the geodes were clusters like this, and they were also pretty flat. It kind of makes sense when you think about it. Bubbles often formed like that. They stick together in clusters and they're a little flat on one side. To clean this geode, I'm going to use iron out because the minerals inside the geode are very rich with iron, and that'll help loosen up those deposits. I'm also going to use some water to rinse it, and I'm going to put baking soda in the water. The baking soda neutralizes the acidity in the cleaner. I even use that when I'm using something mild like vinegar. I'm going to use a soft denture brush to scrub inside and a coarse paintbrush to get inside the geode and get that all scrubbed around, but I don't want to break the tips off. The iron out is like a crystal powder and it dumps out pretty fast if you dump it straight out of the container. So I put it on a folded piece of paper. That way I have a little more control over where I'm dumping it on the rock. Remember that iron out is a lot like bleach, and it will ruin your clothes or other items if it gets on it. I want to clean that one on the upper left first. I think it's going to make a lot of difference when I get that debris off of that drizzle quartz. I don't want to put the iron out on all of them at once. I don't want them to soak too long. It only takes a few minutes. I use the water to activate the iron out, and immediately it starts to fizz and bubble. I can already see the change taking place. You can see the crystals underneath. Remember to scrub gently so that you don't break the tips off of the crystals. It's still bubbling. This was the one that was already very pretty before I even started cleaning it. I think it's going to be even prettier. I think I could put the iron out on a little thicker, a little heavier. It doesn't seem to be hurting anything. When you're cleaning rocks, especially when you're cleaning fossils, you want to be careful and make sure that you're not being too harsh. These rocks are crystal calcite, which is a soft rock, but the cleaner does not appear to be harming it or taking the shine off of it. Some acids will literally take the shine right off of a rock and make it look dull, so you want to be very careful and take it slow. This one has a large pocket, so I'm just going to fill it up with liquid cleaner. I decided to go back and scrub the first ones a little bit more too. This one has a deep pocket. I know I'm not going to be able to get down in there perfect, but if I can move that cleaner all around, kind of coat all of the edges of the pocket with the cleaner, I think I'll be able to get it pretty clean. It's really kind of satisfying to watch it foam up like that. If you remember, this is the one that didn't look like crystal at all. It was just completely covered in mineral buildup. Now it almost looks white. Okay, I'm going to take these in the kitchen and run them under some water with a little pressure. Then I'll come back and show you what they look like after they dried. Do you remember this one? It was completely covered in clay and buildup. Now it looks beautiful, like a different rock. This one's my favorite because it has larger crystals. I'm going to shine a light on this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.